I swear these women are not even 20 years old and they're cooked. Like they're done. They're just, life's done with them. And it's crazy because nearly everything they say and their actions demonstrate this as well. Their words are based off of some kind of delusion or fantasy or covert lie they're trying to tell themselves because society tells them, you go, girl, you go, queen. And then you have the men that don't know how to lead their relationships and assert themselves in relationships, don't know how to set boundaries. And then the women walk all over the men. And then the women expect to walk over all of the men that are actually good out here. I cannot tell you how many men I've been in contact with in consultations as well as in the Regal Change Academy. And they're having trouble trying to talk to a quality woman when there's a lot of these men that even if they don't have their lives all together, they have a plan. They're striving towards something more. And like 95% of them are having a hard time trying to create a sustaining relationship in which long-term material can be prescribed. And I've reached the conclusion that social media has completely just damaged the dating market as a whole, based off of my own conversations that I've had with people, as well as my own personal life I've seen. It's crazy. Like, it's absolutely nuts. There are feces in the dating pool, people. Like, somebody clean this up. And you know what's crazy is the only people that can clean it up are the people that made the mess. And the people that are making the mess, which I genuinely think that the women are making more of a mess nowadays than the men in relationships. If men cheat, at least 90% of the time, they're going to admit it. Or they're not even going to try to hide it. Women will get married, have kids with you, and then when you're off to work, you're doing your thing, you're providing for the family, she's going to go behind your back and talk to some other guy. And you know how I know that? Because 80% to 90% of the women that try to come on to me are married. And most of the guys that I know that are top level, high quality men, they have similar things going for them. Like, not only, like, this is what's crazy is there's a woman at the gym that I know that this is their family just because of the way that they're interacting. And obviously the mom and the daughter look very alike. The daughter's maybe 20 years old. She's not in high school for sure, but she's definitely not she's not in her mid 20s. And the mom is probably 45, 50 years old. Great shape. All of them are great shape, beautiful women. But literally both of these women are trying to pine after me, put themselves in my vicinity. Oh, bend over around me. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I got in your way there again. Doing the women things. The woman that is 45 to 50 years old is married with a kid. And they're both trying to, it's just crazy, guys. It's nuts. It's nuts. They don't have any recollection of what loyalty is. They have no clue how to stay committed to one person. They really don't. And I do genuinely think that, of course, you're going to find other people attractive. Sure. If you're in a relationship, sure, you can say, oh yeah, they're attractive, but you're not openly going out of your way to to have multiple eyes on you, right? You're not trying to have multiple eyes on people, but you happen to see somebody out and about and you can say, oh yeah, they're attractive, but you're not going to do anything about it, and you don't want to do anything about it necessarily. But the thing is it's almost like you can't go into a relationship or even try to start a talking stage with a woman with the intent to have a long-term relationship, because they'll view you as somebody that's like a simp or something sometimes. And not all the time, but sometimes they will. With the guys that I've talked to, I've heard this from people. The way that I go about it is different. I go about it very direct, and I'm very clear about what I want. And I'll do it as a litmus test sometimes to say, yeah, I'm looking for a relationship. And because I want to see what she's going to do. I want to see what her response is going to be, as well as just where she's at spiritually. And most of these women are just not ready. They're just not prepared for the long term. They're not prepared for a true matured relationship. They're just not. Like they're just not ready for it. And it's not really anything that you can do other than stay focused on yourself and become the best version of yourself. Both, like, if I was a woman and I was looking at the dating pool of men out here, I mean, I would want me too. I would want me too, because I'm leading my own life. I stand on business. I stand on principle. I have integrity. I say what I want and I go after it. If I was a woman, I'd want me for sure. But the thing is there's a lot of guys that they're just not even trying to build their life. They're only building their life so that they can get women, or they're only building this mirage of who they think that they should be so that they can get women to be seen and look at them. And what's crazy is some of the men that I've seen in my community, I can't necessarily speak on this for the people I've talked to around the world, but for the people in my community specifically that I've seen, it's like these men have things going for themselves. These men are not necessarily beta men. Sure, the frame needs to be maybe a little bit more on point, but they're good guys. They're really good guys. And it's like, it's not enough for these women. It's crazy. And the woman has everything she could possibly want. A man has to make a life in such a way that he can provide for a woman, to make her happy, to do things for her, to provide for the family down the line, make sure the kids are okay, all these things, just for the woman to women are savage, man. Women are savage. The things that I've seen, some of the men wouldn't even believe. Some of the men wouldn't even believe. And I know that because I was once a guy, even in my simp days, where I wouldn't have believed the things that I've seen if I told my past self some of these things. If I've seen some of the things back then, I wouldn't have been able to handle it. And I'm sure there's probably things that I saw that I didn't even know that I was seeing in my simp days. But now it's very clear. No woman can hide her true self from me. And that's a blessing from God, because my presence invokes their femininity, or else. That's just the way that it goes. And I'm not trying to be forceful. I'm not trying to be rash. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm just asserting myself in the situation, and my aura, my energy is stronger and more dominant than hers. That's all all you really need from a woman, or as a man to a woman. You need your energy to be more dominant. And that means you need to penetrate her energy bubble when you're around, just by being who you are. And you can do that just by being who you are. This is why I talk so much about semen retention. This is why I talk about why it's important to not play with yourself, because when you don't play with yourself, let's just take this aside for a second. Even if you don't do or semen retention or don't know what that is, semen retention is where you don't play with yourself. You don't watch porn, you don't do anything online, you don't mess around, you don't relapse or anything like that. You're not stroking the goody treasures, okay? What semen retention does is it allows you, even if you don't believe in the benefits and such, I still think that it's more important for you to not play with yourself, because you have way more self-respect around women. You have way more understanding of the situation. And it's like you can see certain patterns of what's going to come down the line in the relationship based off of how she's acting in the moment. And there are going to be certain indicators that you can see in their appearance, of course, but most of it is going to be spiritual, and most of it's going to be like, how is she trying to get control of the relationship? Is when she is submissive to you. Okay, people cringe at that word, but I don't want a woman that isn't submissive, because I know what's what and I know what's up, and I'm going to lead my woman because I know that I know how to lead her out of the dark hell and psychological warfare that she wants to go through. And I just like, nope, we're going this way. If you can go where you want, but if you're going to come with me, we're going over here. We're not going over there, missy. We're not going to the depths of hell. Because every single time, without fail, without a doubt, every single time I've let a woman lead me. Now, this is not to say that sometimes you're going to have to give and take in the relationship. You know, if you want to do this, you want to watch, I don't know, I'm just going to spit something random here. If you want to watch Game of Thrones and she wants to watch Pretty Little Liars, I don't know, I'm just throwing stuff. If you want to watch one show and she wants to watch another, and you guys have like a Saturday night is when you guys watch a show together, like that's your time to watch a show together. You've been watching Game of Thrones for a while. Well, now it's time, you know, it's your turn to look at Pretty Little Liars. I don't know. Again, I'm just giving a blatant example here, randomly. I don't know why I came up with Pretty Little Liars. I haven't seen that. My mom made me watch it with her when I was younger. That's the only reason that that thing came to mind. Because I didn't like it. I didn't really care for it. But my dad was working out a lot. Not working out, but he was working a lot at the time. And so she wanted to have me there. Someone to just watch the movie with her, right? And there's nothing wrong with that in a relationship sometimes. There's nothing wrong with, you know, give and take. But you got to still lead, because the woman will introduce you to some things that you might not have even known before. Okay, you might not have even known of some of the things that she wants to watch, or like maybe there's a movie that's actually a good movie that you've never taken the chance on, but now that you're in a relationship with her and you've just watched your movie or whatever last week, now it's kind of her turn to pick a movie this time. Well, then, you know, there's a give and take there. There's nothing wrong with that. But the moment that you say, happy wife, happy life, wah, 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 you go to hell. You're allowing yourself to be led to hell, because that's a slave mindset. Happy wife, happy life is a slave mindset. Okay? Get that in your head. I don't care if I offend anybody with that, but that's just the way that it is. As a man, you must lead. This is one of the things and the reasons why social media has completely just thrown poop into the dating pool, is because we're led to believe as men that the women know better than us, and the women know how to communicate better. When was the last time you heard a woman communicate directly? Like, seriously. When was the last time? Literally every single time now. This is what men all around the world have told me. When they get into a talking stage with a woman, it's gaslighting. It's manipulation. Literally every single man. Every single man. Maybe except 2. Okay, and I've had consultations with over 200 people at this point, approaching like 250. I've had consultations with so many different kinds of people around the world. And then the people in the Regal Change Academy have told us stories as well. And it's like, we're seeing the same stories pop up again and again and again. And I cannot help but think that it's women that are not wanting to fall in line. Okay, and it's because there's just these simp men that are letting the feces be thrown in the pool. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you can put the feces in the pool as long as I get your pussy. Like, that's all. Really? Like, this is where we're at? Like, there's feces in the pool, bro. Like, you gotta look and see. Do you really want to allow feces in a pool? Do you want to live in a world where the dating pool has feces? Because, well, you just want some pussy, because you just want the pink palace. You just want to be able to get some, because, well, I don't know when the next time they're going to be able to get some. Man, dude, this is one of the reasons why hookup culture is so terrible. This is one of the reasons why I don't believe anybody should be doing hookup culture. And women that are talking to multiple men romantically, I don't entertain. It used to be the case that was true. Like, it used to be that if a woman's talking to more than one man romantically, if she's talking to multiple men romantically, she was considered someone that slept around or that got around. And now it's like, well, she can be talking to like 20 guys, and you might be the guy that rises to the top, the cream of the crop. But let's say you are the guy, and she still thinks the grass is greener somewhere else, and you walk away from the situation, because she's not walking away from you, bro. If you're the high quality man, like, and again, I don't like using terms like high value or anything like that, because it degrades like what you're actually trying to do in the relationship, but because that's not what's important. Okay, what's important is being able to support each other and being able to provide something of value. It's not necessarily being high value. It's about being able to give something, because only when you have something to give, because you know how to give to yourself, that's when things can really start to shape up and shift. But these women don't know how to give. They only know how to take. And they take from 20 different guys, 30 different guys at once. And they literally cannot tell which is the best man, because they're so high on the dopamine hits. And the men just want to get like validation from like sexual activity. So you got all these simps just bending over frontwards and backwards, or pickup artists. You know, I literally saw something online where this guy was saying, like, if she doesn't screw you in 3 dates, she doesn't know you're a legend. This is the dating advice that people are giving out, really? Now look, I understand that, like, if you're in the world, sure. But if you're trying to be a godly person, which if you're on my channel, if you're on the Regal Change program, you're about long-term relationships, building strong, healthy foundations, and making sure that long-term relationships with families multiplied are going to be the goal. Okay? Otherwise, this kind of stuff is not going to resonate with you at all. Okay? I don't think that's good. I don't think that's necessary, because let's say, even as a man, let's say you have 5 years from the time you're like 20 to 30. That's 10 years. Let's say 10 years. You're 20 to 30. And you go on, if you have the 3 dates rule to screw, and you have 2 girls a year that you're talking to, that's already 20 girls that you're sleeping with in the span of 10 years. And women will do it like in a freaking month nowadays. I mean, look at that OnlyFans chick, the 101 men in a day. This is what I mean, guys. This is what I'm saying. The social media has just thrown feces in the pool, and we need the people to clean it up. We need people to clean themselves up, and it starts with the internal. All right? It starts with the internal. And part of that is joining godly communities in which you are around people that have values, that have principles, that have integrity, and that move in accordance and with form to the Most High God's will. And we have the community, Regal Change Academy. If you want to look at the free Discord, you can check that out in the link in the description box below with some free resources there. or the paid community where we have 2 weekly Bible study sessions, as well as a Regal assembly call where we congregate and talk about anything and everything. And we also have the Art of War class coming up on Saturday, December 21st. And that's just within the next few days here. And I'm super excited for that. And that's going to be a 7-week class series where we read the Art of War and go through it and talk about all these different kinds of topics and things relating to the Art of War and discuss those things together. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate the support as well. The additional support from everybody moving from YouTube over to X and Rumble. And with all that being said, peace be with you all. Till next time.